Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Maverick here with another episode of 86. So, last episode, Shin and others have decided they are going to join the army, they're going to go back onto the battlefield and so on and so forth, but they have to complete training first, right? So, I guess in this episode, we will get to see them go through their actual training, and hey, maybe they will be humbled a little bit in the beginning, right? Or, gathering up some stuff that you need to have a good balance of both the theoretical and the practical, right? And addition to the others, they definitely have a lot of practical knowledge. Maybe their time in the training school will help them as well. At least I hope it will. I mean, so far with how the story is written, I feel like the author definitely is very grounded in reality and in reasonableness, if that's a word, right? So I don't really foresee a situation where it's just them like completely acing everything and just graduating with high colors and getting immediately into an elite squadron or something of that sort. I do expect a few hurdles and hiccups along the way, but hey, that could be, I could be just completely talking out my ass, right? Another thing is I am looking forward to see how Federica, how she responds to, actually utilizing one of these machines and, what can she exactly do in all this, right? So let's get into the episode. Alright, this episode began with the opening, so I just skipped that, and let's start directly in the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Artillery? I know, just long range. Just sort of like tank school, eh? Well, I mean, Shin's gotta be Shin, eh? I wonder if I mean, rules are rules. This is the lady who wants, yeah, the lady who wants to me. Even human? April 1st, eh? Is this going to be a joke? I guess not. I wonder how much time has passed now. I mean, last episode, 1 month had passed, right? They probably want to take it back, eh? Oh, already. Okay then. I take back everything I say at the opening. But I do feel, though, this is a nice gesture, all things considered. Oh! Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Gave it a new body, eh? Alright. That's nice. Hmm. Aw. It's like a little dog that they have, eh? Really? Really? That's kind of funny, to be honest. 49 now. Western front lines. Huh, and here I was thinking that we would have an entire episode of them training or something. Wasn't expecting a battle scene this early. Shin and others to the rescue. Slice! Bang. So, I guess their official name is still the 86? Right. She doesn't want to eat mushrooms. Why do I feel like her personality had a quick change over, like, this? Hey, I think that's fair. Like, just one, right? So here's where the friendship starts blossoming, right? I do kind of get the feeling that I don't know, things are progressing at a high pace. So you're fighting because you want to make a living? Ooh. This is just screaming death flag to me right now. This is screaming death flag so much. Coming. He can hear. Just like that. Oh, so she can actually do that linking thing, right? Because that's what's being implied here? Holy shit, he's still alive? Yeah, he's long gone. Put him out of his misery. Damn, just like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, the death flags were just screaming in that last scene, but I didn't realize it would be, uh, it would be actualized this quickly. I mean, it's just same old for him. He's learned how to steal his heart already. Well, anyways, see you guys after this. Well, guys, we've already known this is an anime that is not afraid of pulling punches, right? That much should be obvious even back in season 1 when they just killed off most of the 86, right? But with that being said, though, I certainly wasn't expecting it to be that gruesome a scene. You know, even the other death scenes we've seen before, I feel like weren't quite as gruesome as this one. And again, this was completely foreshadowed, right? Like, there couldn't have been a bigger death flag than that exact scene before Eugene died. But still, to actually see him, I feel like that actually adds a little bit to the scene as well. And I think it's quite brilliant pacing as well, because you already get this typically when you get a death flag, right, in anime or light novels or games or whatever kind of media, it takes some time to play out, right? You get this foreshadowing, you get this foreboding feeling for a long time, and then in the end, oh yep, he indeed encountered something bad. Like, if I were to put this into like a normal media form, it might be, okay, we had that before battle scene and whatnot, and then during the battle, you know, we see him struggle and eventually maybe have some positive results or whatnot, right? Like maybe getting surrounded, but then managing to get himself out of there, fight outside of it, and just when he is thinking that he is safe, then instantly get ganked as well, and then die there. You know, it might have been something more like that, right? So the fact that they still showed the death flag, which is, you know, quite cliche in a way, but then immediately subverted by having the death scene immediately after, that definitely adds a lot of shock and unpredictability to the series. And so, pacing wise, I definitely agree that this was a good choice here. Certainly I was quite surprised that, you know, and that was like an immediate transition, right? We saw him and laughing and you know, being like all cheery one moment before, and then in a moment after that we see his lifeless hand, you know, clutching the photo. That is such a stark contrast, and man, I do love it. It was done a little bit, maybe a little bit too quickly, though. I mean, I get that they might be trying to go through a lot of the content and whatnot, and so I guess that would be, and let me just wrap that up first, right? So that scene, and then the scene after, you know that, you know, the other dude, Marcel, I believe was what he's called, you know, he's got to have like some bias, some hatred for Shin and whatnot. But, you know, beyond that, though, I think that scene was done rather tastefully, you know, overall. And we've already seen what Shin is capable of doing, and how he steals his own resolve and his own emotions, right? Having seen so much death already before, this is not his first bout with having friends die whilst fighting the Legion. So, I guess this is a return to old Shin, right? And sort of like a metaphor for that as well. This episode was really, you know, from the rest of the others, you know, saying welcome back, Shin and whatnot. And hey, he is back, right? He is now once again the Reaper of the battlefield, and all the, I guess, more negative associations, you know, associated with it, and so on and so forth. But, you know, putting that scene aside, though, I do get this kind of feeling that maybe we are rushing through a lot of the material. Like, I would have thought that the officer training school and whatnot would have covered or spanned a few more chapters at least in the novels or whatnot. And, you know, we see mentions of numerous other commanding officers, other units, and, you know, I feel like, especially with how we've seen the series so far, there should have been like a better sort of like a general overview of the current situation, the current battlefront, and you know, how, like, which side is winning or whatnot, or what are some key areas to take note of, and so on and so forth. But we had none of that here, right? We see a few scenes of them in training. We know that they joined as sort of like a test elite crack unit, or whatnot, and then now they're just apparently like the firefighters of the army and going out to whichever part they need them. Sort of like an elite crack force, right? Which is kind of reminds me actually of Yojosenki as well, you know, Tanya and her squadron and so on and so forth. But that kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say here is that I feel like it should have had a lot more build up until eventually they came out onto the battlefield. So I don't quite know, like, if there are any others who have read the original and whatnot. Do let me know if that was the case, or even in the original, perhaps the author just decided to, hey, that's maybe not as important, and so just throw them directly onto the battlefield and starting from there, right? So that's definitely something that I'm curious about. But I just have the feeling, right, and seeing their interactions, seeing their listening to their dialogue, and so on and so forth, I feel like we actually skipped through a lot of things, including the test unit's purpose, its command structure, what they actually did in officer training school, and how they gradually, how this rift grew between the 86, like Shin and the others, versus the regular army, and any potential any potential problems down the road that might be stemming from that. I feel like those are all parts of stuff that should have been there, but maybe were just cut out due to lack of time, right? And so we have that, and beyond that, what else? The monument for the rest of the 86 that died on the battlefield and whatnot. I actually thought that was a nice gesture, but I'm guessing that with their grim faces and all, they're not quite satisfied by this. They want to find a way to bring back their comrades to their homeland, to the Republic and whatnot. I mean, sure. In the past few episodes, people were talking to me about, telling me about, how they don't really want to be pitied and whatnot. They have their own pride and so on and so forth. But I feel like there's a negative way to look at this, and there's a more positive way to look at this, right? I mean, well, hey, I mean, this is their thinking. It's their comrades, their camaraderie, right? So can't really say much about that, but hey, at the very least, I think they are very much pleased that Fido has rejoined them instead, right? So beyond that, and I guess one other thing is in the Gyado custom, right? Having this sort of mascot character, like, that is, what the hell is up with that, right? I mean, I guess it kind of sort of makes sense in a way, but on the other hand, you definitely have this kind of feeling that, yeah, they are a pure, I'm almost surprised that they don't have, like, attached political officers to their various squadrons or whatnot. I mean, considering that they were an empire before, I can guess that they do have a lot of these customs that they still follow, but then there is this clash between the old and the new, right? Like, I don't know how prominent this is going to be, though, the fact that Federica is a mascot, and, the existence of such a position and whatnot, like, how to make of the entire situation, like, does that have any big relevance going forward, and so on and so forth. But you definitely get this funny feeling, right? That definitely we need to learn a little bit more about how the empire was before, and I always say knowing history is how you know how you should act going forward, right? And I don't know, for at least on a personal level, I'm very, very curious as to, the old Empire customs and what they did and what they're like and whatnot. And actually the same thing goes for the Republic as well, right? It seems that, the Republic wasn't founded in one day, right? They had to have, like, a former predecessor before the Republic, and maybe that can also teach us a little bit about why the Republic is acting in the way it does, like its morals, its values, what is its leadership position thinking about, and so on and so forth. Those are stuff that I do like. I'm not sure, like, how far 86 as a series is going to go into it. Like, so far it's still mostly, and especially with this second season, it seems that it's mostly focused on the lives of the soldiers, right? And it's taking much more of a down to earth, the grim reality of war, that kind of view of everything, rather from a more higher level, from nation state level kind of stuff and thinking. But it is still possible that it will continue that in the future as well. Maybe Lena's perspective will show a little bit more on that. I know some people have told me that Lena is going to play a much smaller role in this season as well. So that remains to be seen. And so yeah, that's probably it for this episode. I mean, not too much else to add. The animation, the fighting and whatnot, I mean, it's the same old. I'm not particularly like, I don't know. To me, the battlefield is still way too dark in a lot of ways for me to really give a full judgment on the fighting. I definitely still feel that the what we saw in the opening in terms of animation might still win out any single battle that we've seen so far. But you know, I'm sure that we will have a great and grand finale in some sort of grand finale battle or some very key battle that's coming up in the future. And heck, maybe right in the next episode, because it seems that we are building up to one large campaign or one large mission that is going to be a little bit longer than just, you know, an episode of skirmishes. So that's it for this episode. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.